Hi, everyone. Let me see where this chat message is. Ooh, let's see. Okay, there we go. I'm just dropping stuff. How y'all doing tonight? Welcome to my live. It's Mischief Dance here. I haven't been live in a while, so I'm looking forward to this. Such a last minute decision, but I kind of I'm good with last minute decisions. I do well kind of under pressure sometimes. So yeah. Let's see here. Feel free to comment on my live. Engage, like it, like button, share with a friend. The topic is married versus single. So we're going to be talking about that. Married versus being single. Feel free to say hi as well if you are on. Now, like I said, this live stream wasn't planned. Sometimes you just feel something, feel like you need to do something, and you just go for it. That was one of those situations today. Literally, like maybe 2 hours ago, I said, let me talk about this. Didn't have too much going on a Friday night since I have such a busier weekend. So I was like, let me go ahead and go live, and voila. Here I am. So, okay. So like I said, the topic for today is married versus single. And which one is better? You know, it's like a coin toss. They both have their pros. They both have their cons. You just kind of, got to know what's for you. Some people think that married people have it better. Some people think that single people have it better. But it leads me to the number one thing. My number one reason, my number one bullet point for this is no one is happy either way. Okay. Married people wish they could be single, and single people wish that they could be married. Nobody's fully happy with their relationship status. Why? It's like it's like the matter of the grass is greener on the other side. So, I had somebody personally tell me, who was close to me, you don't know how good it is to be single. As they were getting out of a divorce or trying to get out of their marriage, they felt, I guess, imprisoned. So that's not a good feeling when you feel like you're trapped. Let's see. Number two, when you're married, so let me back it up. Answering to someone, the topic of answering to someone when you're married versus when you are single. Married people can't make plans without discussing with their spouse first, or they should, out of respect of their marriage, discuss with their spouse, if they're going on a trip, what the weekend's going to look like, what they got going on. Some people come and go as they please in the marriage. Some people are doing the right thing, which is not come and go as you please, and discussing with their spouse, okay, let me check with my wife for this, or let me check with my husband for that. It is not necessarily a bad thing. It's not necessarily a bad thing to check with your spouse, to check with your, whoever your spouse is, what they're doing, what they got going on. It's actually helpful to the marriage, because if not, it can create problems. And no one wants those. That's how arguments start and everything else. So as far as being single, you don't have to answer to someone. You go and come as you please. You feel a little less unrestricted. You feel more freedom. You feel as though you can, do you. And that's a good feeling. I don't know what it's like to be married. I've never been married. Can't close. But no, the difference is you have to answer to someone, and that doesn't fit everybody's lifestyle. Even people who do get married, it doesn't fit their lifestyle. From what I hear, and the married people that I've talked to, some people still don't like answering to people and like to do their own thing. Then the Tyler Perry question, why did I get married? If you don't like answering to someone, because it's like basically you have to kind of, that's what comes with the territory. That's what the contract is. That's what you sign up for, is to share. It's a union. So now that means that since it's a union, it is not all about you. Whereas single, you can come, go, and you please come in the house 5, 6, 7 in the morning and don't have to tell nobody your whereabouts, which is a good thing. But, some people who are single may like or want that, talking it over with their spouse thing. But I mean, I guess on the flip side of that, if you do it day in, day out, every day for the rest of your life, I guess you get used to it, but that lifestyle might not be for everybody. So yeah, answering to people. So the next topic about being married versus being single and which one is better is being alone. So, being alone is, I don't know who would sit here and say, oh, wow, I just love to be alone. It's like the best thing ever, but it has its pros and cons. It depends on your lifestyle, depends on your personality. It depends on what you can and cannot deal with. It gets lonely being single. I'm telling you, it's not always what it's cracked up to be. Sometimes you just want that companionship. You just want that person to come home to. But you have to choose. Do you want the jump off life? Do you want the person to just come there and be there, for the moment, or on an as needed basis, that routine maintenance, as they like to call, fix those pipes and leaky faucets, if you know what I mean. And once they're all squared away, okay, get out my face. I can go back to doing what I want to do. My needs are filled. You don't have to worry about that, because you got your, I guess they say, rocks off or whatever. And you can kind of go and come as you please. You have to also choose between the, what do you call it? The in a relationship, but not married. You have someone who might be there to fill that void, or you just might not have nothing at all, or no one at all. Again, when you're married, it's a different story versus being single. That lifestyle might not fit for everybody. So with the married lifestyle, you have someone to call your own. You have someone to come home to every day. You have someone to fill that void. They should be coming home all the time. There's someone to have the companionship, someone to be there. Just having someone's physical presence is good for some people, you know. But on the flip side of that, sometimes you could be in marriages and still feel alone. I know I've been told by married people that that's the case. They feel alone and they're in a marriage. So you could be present in the body but absent in the mind. And sometimes if you're going to sign up to be married, sign on the dotted line to be married, and you sometimes feel like you're alone, or most of the time feel like you're alone, which is even worse. Like, my God, why'd you do it? You signed up so you can have that companionship. You can have that someone to be there to lay home to, know that when you go out from a long, hard day, there's going to be that physical presence of somebody else, there to fill that void. Not going to come home to your pillow, your teddy bear, or whatever when you're single, or have to go through your Rolodex. Do they even call it Rolodex anymore? Go through your phone, your Instagram, your YouTube, whatever, and feel like and figure out, who's going to be spending that night with you, because you already have that set in place. You already have your Smackavelli, your jump off, your whatever you want to call it, your boo for life, your companionship for life. So that's another thing. Let's see. I'm trying to think. I had to sit down and really think about these things, because it's expectations. I guess we can go into that. It's expectations when you get married. And it's expectations when you're a certain age and you're not married. Like, okay, so when the society's view is after a certain age, you're not married, you may be labeled as crazy or undesirable. Something's wrong with you. You're unwanted, you're unchosen. Like, what's the matter with you? You're not dateable. Nobody wants you. That's why I don't want you. Or, you can't get anybody. Like, what's the problem? Even though it may be somebody's choice, somebody might be thinking those thoughts regardless, or society may feel that way. If you're 50 and you're not married, if you're 60 and you've never been married, if you're 40 and you've never been married, people think those things. People even think those things at 30, So it just kind of, society has a mean way of being cold and just judging you by your status, whether you're single or you're married. And is that fair? No, it's not. But people do it all the time. I don't know if you've done it, or have done it. But sometimes people are single by choice because they can't live with nobody. And sometimes people are single because nobody can live with them. However, married people are viewed as, they're more committed, they're relatable, more tolerable, and they're also desirable. More women I know people personally are attracted to married men. Okay. They like married men, dealing with them. I know that it's just like, wow, one person that I know personally has everything. It's a guy, he has everything you could want, single, and he just does not want to get married. He said that he likes dating married women because this is his personal preference of choice. To date married women because he doesn't have to have the commitment or the responsibility of a relationship. He can come and go as he please. When his needs are met, he can go back to the husband. She can go back to the husband, and it could be fair game. It's like, okay, why do I need you? My needs are, we have a moment, we go out to dinner, whatever the case, you can go back to your husband. I don't need you anymore because you are now labeled as you're just there for the moment, a person of convenience. And believe it or not, there's women who are cool with that. There's women who are very okay with just having someone there just because there might not be happy in their marriage. And society may view that person as like, wow, you have everything. Why aren't you married? But that person truly doesn't want to get married. The person I just described, the person that I know that has everything, the person that I know, he just is just like, I'm hands off, all hands off deck. I'm good. I'll just sleep with married women. I'll just, sleep with any, he sleeps with single women too. He doesn't discriminate, but he prefers married women because the responsibility is not there. But society may view as like, what's the matter? Like, you're not married. Like, why not? But when you're married and you're a certain age, you feel like, you have your everything's together. You're on focus. You're on target. Everything's good. Everything's peaches and cream. Society may put that pressure. And that's the thing that, is horrible. Society puts pressure on you to get married. Society, and some people have gotten into marriage is because society view those like, hey, the pressure of society is saying, hey, you have to be married. You're a certain age. You're 24. You're 27. You have to be married by now. That's what you need to be doing, is being married. So they get into these marriages, be unhappy, go through problems, to end up getting divorced anyway, just because society puts these pressures on you. And, at the end of the day, it's like about what you want and your happiness. Society can pressure you all day and make you feel a certain way. They can see you or whatever, but who cares? But people really hold a lot of value and a lot of weight to what society says. Excuse me, I'm sorry, I'm texting somebody about whatever about this live stream. Okay, so society puts pressure on you when you're married versus when you're single. You look a certain way. You look better when you're married. When you're single and past a certain age, I guess, what is this age? I don't know. You guys tell me. 30? Is 30 a good age to say, like, if you're not married past 30, it's like, oh, society may deem you as unfit or crazy, undesirable. Something's wrong with you. I don't know. But that's one other thing that, is pressuring, and it's like, who has it better? A lot of single people feel a lot of pressure who want to get married too, especially women. The biological clock ticking and, childbearing years. You have this vision in your mind when you're a little girl. You want to feel it. You want it to happen. May come true, may not. It's extra pressuring. Men have a lot of time to do that, but they might also see as undateable if they're not married at a certain time too, as well as women. But women have the extra pressure. Single women have the extra pressure after a certain age to get married. Moving right along, when it comes to money, and you guys feel free to comment, hop on, enjoy, engage. When it comes to money, married people, somebody has to be responsible with it. Not everybody's responsible in marriages with money. Not everybody also can be trusted, but you should be able to trust your spouse that you're in a relationship, you're in a marriage with, to have your best interest and be good with the money, right? The good thing about being married, I guess the pro, is that you have that extra income. If you, God forbid, your job you get fired, your company takes a loss, you have to resign or whatever the case may be, you lose your job. At least you have the extra income. At least you got that. Single people don't. They don't have that extra support. They don't have anybody obligated to share their finances with, which is kind of, messed up, but it comes with the territory. But it's messed up, but at the same time, it may not be messed up. That's if you're struggling. If you're struggling and you're single, then that can poses a problem. It can kind of pose as unhappy, an unhappy life, an unfit life, or whatever. If you're struggling, it may be unsuitable, sad, all that stuff. But if you're on top of your A game, you single, all you work hard for the money and you get to keep it. It's all yours. That's a beautiful advantage of being single. You don't have to share it with nobody. Get your hand out my pocket. Just it's all you. You keep what you work for. But on the flip side, when you are married, if your spouse isn't that extra income, isn't that extra support to do more things with, which marriage is supposed to be about, you share, you split finances, you save together, you build together, all of that stuff. You have somebody to do that with. If it takes a turn for the worst and that partner, that spouse has like a bad habit or a secret addiction, expensive habits, a bad shopping habit or something, or a bad gambling habit, then it is dipping out of your money too when you didn't have any involvement in it. Then that could be a con of being married while you are married. Like, it's like you don't want your marriage is supposed to be meant to share and everything. But if someone is being, I would call that selfish in a marriage. If somebody is using the marriage money to, or I guess, I don't know, sometimes everybody's different. I know different strokes for different folks. Some people have split accounts. Some people have their own separate account. I know if I ever got married that I would definitely have my own personal account and then have a joint account, because, somebody could take the money that you guys put all into it, one of y'all married people, and do very bad things with it, where it could cause you to lose your house. It could cause y'all to be homeless. You struggle together. You think you got issues then. You think you got issues now. Somebody using all the money for things that they shouldn't, and not, while this other person is innocent, messed up. That comes with being married. You take that loss, that hit. It's either a hit or a gain. A loss or a gain. But hopefully, it's the first of the two. You're not, nobody is taking the money and all that stuff. That's bad. That seemed like that would stress somebody out, which a lot of people would remain single for that if they see those flags in a partner beforehand, or you to get rid of the partner, which would make even more sense. But, there's a lot of sharing involved when it comes to money. And that's the sacrifice that you take, with being married. Sharing could be good. It depends on how financially stable the other partner is, or what financially stable you both are, or sharing could be bad. So, I'm sorry. It depends on the sharing. Yeah. If the person's financially stable, then that would be great. If the person with one of y'all is not financially stable, one of y'all struggling, and it's like having one income, then, there should be no secrets when it comes to the money. Everybody should be able to be forthright in a marriage. You don't have to lie when you're single about your money too. That's another benefit. A lot of lying goes on in marriages, especially when it comes to money, or secretivity, or just withholding from telling information, which isn't good. But yeah, money has its pros and cons for being married, for being single, but activities and fun. Now, leisure stuff. Okay, so couples activities. There's different things that you do when you're married versus when you're single. The pros of being single: you can do whatever the hell you want. You don't have to answer to nobody. You can come and go as you please. Any activity you want to do, you can do it. But when you come married, the fun things that you used like to do, the game nights or wild parties that you had with your girlfriends, can't do them anymore. Or you shouldn't be doing them no more. When you become married, you take that as a loss for the other benefits of getting married. No strip clubs, no wild party, no visits from the opposite sex, the guy friends dropping over to just visit. Ain't none of that. Girlfriends just dropping over, just female friends, even if it's just platonic, that would impose as a problem for most people. But this day and age, nothing surprises me. Most of the time, females just have a tendency to be a little bit more jealous. You can't have a married man can't have a female friend just dropping by saying hi, how you doing? I just want to come over, a little dress on, just chilling. Your wife's up there looking like, So you take that, you can't do some of the same activities. You do more fun things together. Even though I was told that it's better to still have mutual friends when you're married, but still have your own separate set of friends. Because if you get rid of all your friends that you had when you were single, because they're not married and don't kind of fit in with your lifestyle, then what happens if you happen to get divorced? You guys you're just gonna have the mutual friends that you have with from your spouse. That's not good. You have to have your own separate, even though you're a union. I'm not married, but even though you're a union, I feel like you have to still have your own separate identity. I think that matters. But yeah, so married people have certain activities they can do. They can have restrictions on their activities versus single people who don't. Dealing with family. This is a heavy hitter, right? Dealing with the opposite. Dealing with your married partner's family is a major topic. It's a major issue that is very serious and even can date and break up marriages. So when you're single, it's your choice. When you have holidays, you go where you want. You go where you please. You go where you most desire to go, because you don't have to consult with anyone. Unless if it's involving the kids, you're in a co-parenting situation and you're a single parent, just discussing about the kids, is the biggest problem for the holiday. Like, where the kids gonna be at? They gonna be with mommy, gonna be with daddy, where they gonna be? Married people, holidays, you have to sacrifice sometimes seeing your family when you really want to see them. Go see the other person's family, or vice versa. That can be a stressor to a marriage. That could be a con of being married versus being single. You may not like the mother-in-law, your in-laws, but you might have to deal with them on a regular basis. And if you got the mother-in-law or father-in-law from hell, you have to deal with them because that's your family now. You signed up for that. You signed up to deal with this family. Hopefully they're good ones. You don't have that mother-in-law from hell, but if you do, pray for you. Family wanting to stay or coming over for extended periods of time. You have that little brother who lost his job, ain't got nowhere to go. They come stay at your house for a day, turns into a month. Before you know it, years go by, and this little brother's living there. You don't want him there. You're tired of him eating up all your cereal in the morning, using up all the groceries, not putting nothing back. This ain't even your brother. This is your husband's brother. This is your wife's brother. That gets annoying. Not filling the toilet paper back, like annoying little things. Families can hurt marriages too. Families can help. They can hurt them. It's the either way situation. But yeah, family, dealing with the opposite, marriage, dealing with your spouse's family is a considerable factor to see if it's a pro or a con of getting married. Hopefully it works for some, not for others. The biggest thing I would think about would be the holiday. The holidays, comes time, one person's family's far away, traveling, seeing them, we really want to be with the other one. Family members might get sick, they might be elderly, it's just deciding that. So it's a lot of decisions to be made, which can cause stress if it's not a good situation, but it also can be a great thing if you do get along. So when it comes to kids, because when you're married, kids get involved. Kids are involved. Kids happen when you're married. So this is a catch-22. Is it better to be married and have the kids, or is it better to be single and not have the kids? I personally think that when you're married, you have the help at home. Help is right there. You pass the child off to the spouse. If you have problems and behavior with the kids, y'all both there to solve it. You're both there to deal with the problem. You're not by yourself. Two parents households are better. You can see what's going on, see the problem, address it, and boom, act on it. Decide, grounding, spank it, whatever you do. I don't know. I don't recommend the spanking part, but whatever you do. It's horrible if you have parents that fight all the time. So if your parents are fighting and kids are involved, that's not a good thing. It's like now your kids have to be under stress. You think you're seeing problematic behaviors in them. Parents get to fighting and arguing and everything. That's even more stress for the kids. So that is a con of being married and not having a good marriage and unhappiness and having your children see that. Versus being single. When you're single, you stress by yourself. The good thing about that, if you're in a co-parenting relationship and it's a healthy one, you don't have to worry about, kids seeing you fight. You both go home, you both share the child or transport the child to, one another. Then you deal with the child the way you want to deal with it. The other parent deals with the child the other way they want to deal with it. They don't have to see you. The child doesn't have to see you suffer and be miserable when you're a single versus when you're married. Unless, the co-parenting relationship. I mean, the person you're parenting with comes over, starts drama, all that fighting, arguing and stuff, whatever. But for the most part, I think the kids may fare better when you're single. I know my son, he gets 2 holidays, Christmas at mommy's, Christmas at daddy's. He, 2 birthdays, birthday party at mommy's, birthday party at daddy's. But when it comes to deciding factors, it can be challenging. Okay, which school location is he going to be at? Is he going to be at mommy's school location for school? Or is she going to be at daddy's school location? Which is better? Finances. You have to kind of divvy that up. So it's kind of a gray area when you're single. But for the most part, when you're single, you don't have, it can help you or hurt you. It depends on your support system that you have. But at least the support is right there at home. Mommy, daddy are home together, both parents in the household. When you're married, at least supportive if they're in a healthy marriage. Unhealthy marriage, not so much good for the kids. But I just feel like I think I covered pretty much most of the things that, when it comes to being married versus single. I mean, it's just like a lot of pressure. I know friends who go through it and they really wish they were married and they're not. And and sometimes, you listen to, certain IG personalities, YouTube personalities, after a certain age, your life is done. Your life is shot. You have no chance to get married. You might as well just wither away and die, which should not be the case. But you got to listen to what poison you get in your ear, because you got to listen to what goes into your ear, because it may be poison. Let me just say that. People always think the grass is always greener on the other side. Is it better to be married or is it better to be single? Both have their pros and cons. At least I know with marriage, they say the statistics are you live longer when you are married versus when you're single. That's, if you're not each other's throats and one spouse doesn't kill the other by getting on each other's nerves. But the statistics are, the divorce rate is higher than the marriage rate now. So is it better to be married than single? With the divorce rate being so high now, I think the 70s, it was the highest for marriage. Now, like, especially during COVID, divorce rate has went all the way through the roof. I guess everybody's wanting to be single after they got a taste of, married life and didn't like it, or had to really get to know their partner and be around them all the time, day in and day out, while everything was shut down during COVID. But, single people don't have that longevity. They don't have that, I guess, if you have a problem, God forbid the loss of a family member, you don't have that person to automatically gravitate to help and support you through your loss. That's the benefit of being married. At least you have that support. At least you go through that together. When you're single, you kind of go through it by yourself. People pitch in where they can, but at least you have that support. I guess people get married for that support. That's, and that's a major thing to think about. When people play the field and want to be single and party and just think that it's cool to be the 60, 65-year-old at the bar. Come here, girl. Snatching young girls, buying them drinks, tossing out their money. That's old. You want somebody to go through life struggles and curveballs, I guess, at a certain age, if you want. But outside looking in, some people, again, may like that. Different strokes for different folks. But, at the end of the day, it's always better to be supported. I don't know one person in this world who doesn't want to be supported in their endeavors, don't want to be supported in their dreams, don't want to be supported when they feel like they have nobody, their ideas, somebody to listen to, somebody to be there for them when tough times happen or occur, spontaneous things, mitigating circumstances may prevail. That support from a marriage is beautiful. That's when it's a pro to be married. That's when it's a blessing. And when you're single, I know people who are single want to get married just for that. Thinking about long term, and to not have that and want that is sad. It can be when you want to be married and you want that support. You're not being selfish. You're wanting that person to support you and be there. I know something that's popular, polyamorous relationships. Okay, so this year, I think I know at least 2 that I know of people that are in polyamorous relationships, which is basically being single sexually without being single on paper. So, they seem happy though. They seem very happy. There's no lying. There's no lying about sex partners when you're married in a polyamorous relationship, I guess, or a open relationship. I think that's the term that they use nowadays. That's an acquired taste to do that, to be in that kind of relationship. Not everybody's built like that. Especially women are naturally jealous and don't want another woman touching their man. Men, I don't know. It seems like that type of lifestyle works for men, but doesn't necessarily work for women. Men might want to be with non-monogamous or be in a polyamorous relationship, but not want their spouse to be in a polyamorous relationship. Not with their spouse to date other people, or they just want to. It's like, I want my cake and I want to eat it too. Or maybe that person is bisexual. That spouse is bisexual and might be interested in bringing other people in the bedroom. And that seems like that can get messy. That's a whole different world and a lifestyle. I don't know anything more than what I've heard about it. But all I know is the people that I know that are in open relationships, they seem happy. They're enjoying their lives. Their spouses want them to go out and do whatever they want to do. But you know what? I can say the good thing about that type of marriage is I would call it the single-ish marriage. Let's call it the polyamorous relationship, the single-ish marriage. Because you're not single, you're married, but y'all just have an understanding that y'all can, do other people. Or one of y'all can do other people and the other person just deals with it. I don't know. They seem happy though. Again, I mean, to each his own. That's your lifestyle. That's what works. Maybe some people who are married before they get divorced might need to try that. Have an open relationship. At least you're cheating in front of the face instead of behind the back. I mean, is it better to have it in front of your face than just somebody doing things behind your back? I mean, I don't know, but it's better just maybe not have it at all. But if you're living your best life and you're out and about and able to travel and be able to talk to other females on the phone while you have relationships, while you have a marriage, is that a good thing or does that put a strain on your relationship? It's like, why not? I'm thinking, me personally, I don't know if anybody has a polyamorous relationship or open relationship, like to comment. Let me know. Is it better just to be single if you're going to do all that? But I guess you just want that commitment of having someone there. Someone said, why would they? I don't know if you can elaborate on that comment. Why would they? But it's not cheating if they know about it. No, it's not cheating if they know about it. But how many people can handle it after? Some people want to try different things or try different people in their marriages, which ultimately, it might sound like a good choice to try to please the partner at the time. But at the end, was it a good choice? If your partner is not getting over it, if it's still in their mind, if it's still bothering them at the end. So I don't know. I just am finding now that it's kind of popular to have open relationships, open marriages. And I don't know many, but the 2 marriages that I do know of, they seem very happy. They seem happy. They seem open. They seem like it's like the best thing in the world. I don't know. I don't know that world, but I don't know. Another thing is, if you single, you can have more kids with anybody if you want them. If you're married, if your spouse doesn't want kids, it's a wrap. You want more kids. It's not fair. Those things should be discussed beforehand, but it's like you can only have this one person to have kids with when you're married. If your spouse said they wanted to, but for some reason not anymore, you have to deal with that decision. That's a life decision. But you can't tell nobody what to do with their body. That's their choice. But you have to also take it for the team and be married. It's like having more children. You only can do it with your marriage partner. When you're single, you can do it with anybody you want to, which is probably better to be in a marriage and do that. But, it'd probably save a hassle. But that's just a matter of opinion. Some people are happy being a matriarch or a patriarch and coming and going as they please and have the kids that they want, go about their day. But you can do what you want. That's the thing. So single, sometimes it's not even a choice. Sometimes it's just what life dishes out. Sometimes it's a choice. Yeah. Sometimes it's just what life dishes out. And it's a lot of things that come with both. It's a lot of pressures with being married. It's a lot of pressures with being single. It's a lot going on with both situations. So who's to say who has it better? Just kind of depends, I guess, on what you want. It kind of depends on, what works out for your lifestyle, what you're willing to do with or do without, your sacrifices, and what you can tolerate, what you discuss. All I know is the divorce rate keeps on going up. So it's just one of those questions. That's why I had to do this live stream. It's like, why is the divorce rate going up? People encourage marriage, but I guess people get married for the wrong reasons too. I know when you're single, if you get divorced, I mean, if you're single, there is no divorce. There is no cost of getting married. There's no cost of ending a marriage. But when you're married, it is. So there's gray areas in both. So I just say this to say, I'm glad I talked about this, you guys. I would love to see you guys catch this replay. Make sure you're following me on Instagram, Tiffany Cuts the Pain, Tiffani Cuts the Pain. At also, you can feel free to email me, MsTiffDance at Gmail, MSTIFFdance@gmail.com. And also check out my most recent video. I posted something. I went roller skating, and I think I still got it. I think so. May not got it the way I had it before, but I still got it. I'm going to enjoy my weekend. I hope you guys all enjoy your weekend. Have a nice one. If you're married, enjoy your marriage. If you're single, enjoy being single. If it's going to be a hot girl summer, let it be hot. If it's going to be a married girl summer, let it be nice and married and honest. And just keep looking out for my videos. Make sure you look at my community posts. All right. Take care. Bye.